would teach those in need of tech support.
Okay, so I am trying to get to Google because I want to show you how to do a search by image. This is in case you needed to, figure out whether or not the image that you want is something you can make fair use of, right? So I'll go through the strategies in my head, what that means. So I'm going to start by uploading a file that I've looked at before, so I know what I'm in for. Now this actually has the name of the thing already, so that might be a good one to go with. And so my client who had seen this was not the original version. It didn't have the name of the title and the artist in there originally. I had to find that myself. So maybe let me go back and find the one that was already originally given to me. Right. So it was a little bit different color. It was darker. Yeah, there it is. So sometimes that's what happens. You end up finding an image and you realize, oh, well, it's been altered to some degree. So, but you'll see over here. I haven't checked to see if you can see my hand or the arrow, but it says see exact matches on the very first search result. You always want to click that blue button for the exact matches in case, I mean, if there are any, sometimes there aren't. And then here we're just going to start scrolling and reading these things. And a couple of things we're looking for that would help. The size of the image right now, this one is 600 by 450. So it's kind of a medium size, not the greatest size. That's an indication it might not be it. Um, the larger size ones, sometimes it's a sign that it might be the right one. You also want to look at the date. The older the date, the more likely, obviously, as well. So I scroll down and I start realizing, oh, there's another version of the picture out there. It's this one's from 2020, whereas the other one was from a later date. So we're seeing that there's a bit of a timeline here where at a certain point, some of them, oh, in 2019 on this one, slightly older. So somebody has already started manipulating it, but then somebody, posted back the original later. So, well, I only found out that it was the original later. We'll see where I'm seeing it. But yeah, sometimes it can be very weedy to kind of be doing this kind of search. You kind of do a little sleuthing as you go, and we keep on looking and we keep on looking. One of the other kinds of things I look for is if it's in a gallery or I mean, if it's a painting or if it's something that's offered in like a catalog of other images like Unsplash or Pixabay or um, I don't remember the names of the other ones, Getty Images maybe. So here we can see this is a good example of one that kind of labels everything out for you. I wouldn't have known that, but you can see by this image size that it's likely, and look at the date too. Look how old that is. 2014. It's the oldest one we've seen so far. It's a very good chance this is one of the originals for some reason. And yes, this is one of the ones that I had copied. It's such a big one. When it's big, it means the resolution is much better. You can print it at a larger size. And it helps you kind of, you know, check for the details like this signature. You wouldn't be able to see the signature so well on one that's much more pixelated, right? So this, if you look at the name Rusuli and we do a Google search on that itself, you'll find that Rusuli.com is a thing. And he was an Iranian artist, or he is, sorry, he's still around. In fact, it's probably in Southern California somewhere. So you look here, and then what I would do if you do figure out who it belongs to, you look directly in there where it says, here we go, under contact, it says artwork shown on the site are selection from hundreds of artworks created by Rasuli. Now, I honestly wasn't able to find that exact image on this website, but I'm assuming that he would use the same criteria here as he would for the other image. That image I found out was part of a book as well of the same name. So you can find that on Amazon as well. But yeah, so generally, if it's fair use, meaning you're not trying to make a profit off of it, like you literally like create a t-shirt of it or something like that, or whatever, then, and you're not, altering it in any way, then it's usually fair use. And usually the original artist will want a link back, like as this is saying. If you wanted to post on your personal website free of charge. And so there is a gray area there with the word personal websites. So yeah, if your client is a small, mom pop type, thing and can't afford to pay big artists lots of money, you could probably, think of that as a personal website. So yeah, I would say, but if you're, somebody who's actually hiring people out for that business, then yeah, you might get in trouble for, not contacting the artist. So yeah, gray areas, lots of gray areas, especially with the AI thing coming up. And yeah, so thank you for listening. I wanted to talk a little bit about spam and demonstrate how you can let people know that something was a phishing. Trying to find an example here of phishing attempt. So a phishing attempt is basically a little bit worse than spam. I'm sure most people know that spam is just kind of unwanted email. Like they could say this maybe was spam, right? They're trying to sell me Finance Friday. At one time, maybe I wanted it, and maybe today I don't. Let's just use that as an example. So it hit the report spam. But let's say, so I'm going to unsubscribe or report spam. Either way is fine. I would say unsubscribe for now. If I thought it was a little bit more malicious than just wanting to unsubscribe, I might want to report it as spam. But I'll just unsubscribe it for now. That's just an example. Let's say, and let me look to see if I happen to have a phishing attempt in here. I do have another page going here. So, I'll get in there. You know what? I just did report some phishing attempts, but let me go into my spam folder because there's more likely chance of finding phishing. In fact, I would say 100% chance of finding a phishing attempt in here. There we go. Very obvious to me that this is a phishing attempt, right? It says SSN, Social Security number, deactivation number. And then it has a Gmail address afterwards. What do you think that means? I will take the chance of clicking into it just to give you an idea of what it looks like. And they did warn me that it's spam, but I'm saying it's more than just spam. I'm saying it's phishing. Because they even say warm wishes, Social Security Administrator from USA. Oh, this is such a bad example. I mean, this is such a prime example of this. Thank you. And so in here, I want to do something more than just tell people that it's spam. I want to say that it's phishing. So report phishing. Now, there's other things you can do to do even more to make sure this doesn't get out there with other people. If I found that this was like more than just malicious, I would definitely report it to something more than just Google. This is just reporting to Google, and Google might report it to something federal. But I'm going to report phishing for sure. And then more than that, you might want to take your own steps. If for instance, like let's say you actually push that button, you might want to take your own steps to take matters in your own hands and not just report it as phishing in Google, but also the federally. It is a little bit more involved. I think I have a link to that somewhere as well. I am not going to remember it off the top of my head though. But yeah, there's a lot you can do to protect yourself out there. It's just a matter of, being able to recognize when a scam is happening. And yeah, definitely finding, anything that sounds like you're going to have to pull out something that you don't necessarily want to pull out for somebody else, like money or identity things. Start suspecting that you're going to need that spam button or that phishing button because it's probably pretty heinous. All right. that's it for my full hour, and thank you for listening to me. I hope to see you next month. I do this every month. I think it's the fourth Friday of every month. You can check the Eventbrite page that I have from my website at wisrealweb.com. And thank you for listening. Oh, like and subscribe. I forgot about that. Yeah, please do. Thank you. So, if there's one thing I want you to learn and take away from this video, it's how to save and find the things that you need on your computer. I don't have a Mac here. I might be able to show you that next time. But right now this is a PC, so I'm showing you what it looks like with a Windows 11, I believe is my version, directory. So you're always looking for a place. A lot of times when you save things, they will automatically go to your downloads folder. So that's usually a safe bet to look first. But let's say it didn't, let's say you wanted to save something in a particular spot. It's always good to create folders. And in general, there are 3 or 4 different kinds of folders you'll see automatically on a Windows page. So one will be documents. And you got to be careful because, this is the online. There's like multiple places on my computer I could show you. But yeah, so you have what we call the cloud, and it literally looks like a cloud next to it, which means it's not actually on your computer, but it's on somebody's server out there in the wild. Well, not the wild, but wherever the host is that saves this thing, I guess somewhere in Microsoft, right? And then over here we have documents here, which is oh, that's still the cloud. Sorry, the wrong place. This one I actually labeled this. This is okay. Actually, that's a long story, but my computer is called Herbie the Love Bug. Sorry, Herpes the Love Bug. Herpes the Love Bug because I might get viruses a lot, and so that's what HTLB stands for. So I know whether or not you might want to do this too, where you're labeling certain folders, um, certain things, so that you're not on the cloud versus your own computer. So I know my hard drive is on herpes the love bug. That's what that stands for. But you could write HD for hard drive or something, or whatever you name your laptop. You put that there at the end of the. Okay, so my system is that I have the name of the folder that I would originally want to name it, and then underscore and the name of the location at the end. I don't do that for every folder. I just do that for the ones that I tend to use the most, and those sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll click on a documents thing. Oh yeah, I don't actually know how to pin these yet. I'm sure somebody can show you. I will not be showing you that right now because I forgot how to. I think I at one time was able to do it, but I think with the different changes in the Windows versions, honestly, I hate it when that happens. But anyway, I've lost that knowledge, but I will have to relearn that soon. Um, I mean, come on, we're on 11 now. Something should stay the same, right? Anyway, yeah, so I have HTLB. I keep personal documents on here, but not too I'm like, just things that I would need for business, like taxes and things like that. Speaking of that, you may want to. I'll have to do a better job in researching ways to secure your computer to make sure nobody's hacking in there while you're on the internet. But it's always safe to turn off if you're not using the internet right now. For instance, I could turn it off with the airplane mode. Now, where is the airplane mode? I did not set up this properly to show you that. But oh, I forgot to show you all these buttons. Duh. Okay, so this up button means we're going up a directory. If you wanted to go, so that means there are different hierarchies, like different levels of the different things. So if we go to the basic, the very first place, which is this computer, you can see that there are how many drives? 1, 2. The SD is my SD card in the thing. So that's what's located on the computer. And like I said before, there's an extra floating drive, which is this virtual one. So you got to be careful you're not confusing where you placed it in there versus the hardware ones. Okay, so that's number one. Then you can click into here and start looking for where the files were, and it's when if you wanted to, take a look up here. It says this PC Windows C, and then the next one would be whatever we click into next. So that's kind of an idea of how you can kind of figure out where you are. So I might not necessarily want to be in program files. I might instead want to go to users and then find my own login, which is for me Sandra, apparently for some reason. And then I have 2 documents folders for some reason here. I'm just going to go to the HTLB because that's where I keep everything for some reason. I didn't know I had a second documents folder, to be honest. I might have accidentally copied the other one at one point sometime. It's always good to make copies of things. So whenever you make an important one, you might want to make a separate copy on that SD card, mini SD card, whatever you have in there, or on the cloud. So those are 2 extra places to save things. And then, yeah, so if I go up, you can see that it moved back up to the point where you can see the user's Sandra, and if I go down, you can see now it says user. It's cut off the other ones, but they're still back there. But you're still at user Sandra, but then the next one is HTB. And then if I go into, let's say, grants or something, there's still more folders in here because I've had different grants in the past. But yeah, so that's the way you find yourself going up and down a directory. I hope this helps. I know for some people this is new information, and if you ever get lost, feel free to reach out and I'll try to help you. Thank you.